What's up, YouTube? So we're going to be going through the most important formula in sports betting. Most important formula. If you don't know this, I do not think you should be betting on sports. And I say this all the time, but you need to forget what you know about sports betting. This isn't something you're going to learn on DraftKings website. This isn't something you're going to learn on FanDuel's website, right? They put out a lot of sports betting content, but it's not good content, right? 99.9% of sports bettors lose money, and it's because they listen to the content that sports books, who are the enemy, put out, right? Like, you make money off DraftKings or they make money off you. It's really simple. So they're not going to teach you how to actually bet on sports and beat them. But anyways, what we're going to be going through is fair odds, how to calculate the fair odds of a wager. So basically, the first thing you need to remember is, how do sportsbooks make money? You've probably maybe heard that they make money off of the VIG, which is just a spread, right? So basically, sportsbooks are like car dealers or stockbrokers. So you think about a car dealer, they may be like, hey, I'll buy this used car for $10,000 and then I'll sell it for $14,000. So they make a $4,000 spread, right? There's a $4,000 spread. So essentially, if you think about it, it's like, okay, they bought this for 10 grand, they sold it for 14, right? What do they think the fair price of the car is? What is the true price of the car? And it's just the midpoint, right? It would be roughly $12,000. If somebody buys it for 10,000, if the dealer buys your car for 10 grand, they obviously think it's worth more. They think your car is worth more. If they sell you the car for 14K, they think the car is worth less, right? They think the car is worth less. So the car is worth somewhere between $10,000 and $14,000, right? Somewhere in the middle, and it just makes sense you pick the midpoint, 12 grand. Same thing as a stockbroker, right? They may buy a stock for $10 and sell it for $10.20, or they may buy a stock for $1 and sell it for $1.20, 20-cent spread. So the fair price of the stock is the midpoint, 110. That is called fair price, right? This is very essential. You learn it all throughout gambling, all throughout trading, and in the investment world, is because most of the financial world runs off of spreads. You just remove the spread, and that is the fair price. It really is that simple. So we're going to go through some simple examples in sports betting, but essentially, if a stockbroker's like, hey, I'll buy the stock for $1, I'll sell it for 120, the midpoint is 110, right? So maybe if you could buy it for 105 from another stockbroker, that seems like a pretty good deal, right? Because the midpoint of the other guy's market is 110. And that's kind of how you start to think as a sharp bettor, right? Sharp sports betting, profitable sports betting, you're just investing, right? But you're investing in bets. So it's a little different than trading, a little different than investing, but basically all of the same concepts apply, right? All of the same concepts apply. So we'll flip over, we'll go through some examples of no vig odds, but essentially that's the way that markets work, right? $1, $1.20. And let's say everyone starts buying the stock from this dealer, right? What's going to happen to the price of this stock is maybe he was buying it for $1, selling it for 120. If everyone's buying it from him for 120, then he may start to take up his prices. Then he may be like, well, the demand is pretty high for this stock. So instead of buying it at $1 and selling it for 120, I'll buy it for $1.05 and I'll sell it for 125 now, right? And then the dealer, the stockbroker, just waits again until supply and demand are offset, because the dealer just wants to make that risk-free spread, right? The dealer just wants to make that risk-free 20-cent spread. Buy for $1.05, sell for 125. Dealer wants to make that 20 cents. But if there's too much supply, or demand, they'll continue to take up prices. If people keep buying, they'll be like, okay, now I'm going to buy the stock for 110. I'm going to sell it for $1.30. Same 20-cent spread, but because the demand was so high, right, the price goes up, which is exactly what you see happen in financial markets like the stock market. But anyways, let's flip over to my screen and let's go through some examples of no vig odds. So we're going to go through a couple examples of no vig odds, and I know math, it's a little boring formula, so get out your Corona. It's really important as a sharp bettor. And what we're going to talk about is FanDuel to start. So you can see FanDuel is giving you plus 116 on the Capitals, minus 140 on the Islanders. Right? Now, remember how we talked about a stockbroker saying, hey, I'll buy this stock for 116, I'll sell it for $140. They're just making that $24 spread. Well, that's exactly what FanDuel's doing, right? It's a little more confusing, which is how the sportsbooks like it because they're using odds as opposed to prices. But what FanDuel is saying is, yo, you can buy the Islanders, in other words, bet on the Islanders. You can buy the Islanders for 140, so they'll sell it to you at 140, or you can sell the Islanders for 116. So you can sell the Islanders to the sportsbook and bet on the Capitals on FanDuel for 116. So that's a 24-cent spread. So what we want to do is we want to strip out that spread. And the calculator you want to use, it's the most important calculator on OddsJam. So I definitely recommend reading this text. But you want to take this market, right, and you want to put it into a no-vig odds calculator. So FanDuel plus 116, right here, minus 140. So this is a market without vig. This is the no vig odds, which is also called the no juice odds, the fair odds, or the true odds. There's various terms for it, but essentially what this means is according to FanDuel's model, the fair price or the true price that their model is spitting out for the Capitals is plus 126. And the fair price or the true price for the Islanders is minus 126. So essentially, if you could bet the Capitals at, say, plus 130, which you can on Bovada, this bet would be profitable according to FanDuel's model. So FanDuel would think that would be a profitable bet. And again, these sportsbooks are very smart. They invest hundreds of millions of dollars in their ability to set lines. So what we're doing as sharp bettors is we're picking off inefficiencies, right? Which in this example is going to be Capitals plus 130. So it looks great to FanDuel, right? FanDuel's only giving you plus 116. The fair price is plus 126, and we're getting value, right? We're getting better odds than the no vig odds, the fair odds, the true odds, whatever you want to call it, right? So we're literally just stripping the vig out of this market. In the same way, a car dealer will say, hey, I'll buy this car for 10 grand, I'll sell it for 14. Well, they obviously think the car's worth more than 10. They think it's worth less than 14 if they're going to sell it there. So they probably think it's worth somewhere in the middle, maybe $12,000. It's no different on sportsbooks, right? And of course, these odds can always move. You have to be fast as a sharp bettor. If all this action starts piling in on the Islanders, or there's an injury to a key Capitals player, let's say Ovechkin, right? Lines are going to move from minus 140, let's say, to minus, 180 maybe. And if the odds move from minus 140 to minus 180, you'll see that the no vig odds changes as well as this win percentage. So this is called a no vig win percentage, fair win percentage, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, according to FanDuel, right, where they're setting the line, the Islanders are obviously favored at minus 140. You can see that they are 55.75% to win this game. Now you're going to notice, okay, so according to FanDuel, the Islanders are slight favorites. They're 55.75% to win this game. Caesars is more bullish on the Islanders, right? They have the Islanders more juiced, minus 145 versus minus 140. So if we take Caesars market and we put it into the no vig calculator, what we're going to see is they have that win probability higher than FanDuel, right? They're saying, according to Caesars, every sportsbook has different models. They take different action, different bets. They set lines independently. So according to Caesars, the no vig odds is minus 131.39, which you can see right here. And the win probability, right? The win probability for the Islanders is 56.78%. They are more bullish. They have the Islanders more favored than FanDuel does. Whereas on FanDuel, it was plus 116, minus 140, so it's 55.75%, right? And these numbers, these differences kind of matter. So what we can do is you can take all these sports books, and of course, we're not going to take them all. I mean, there's hundreds of sports books out there. So this is what's crazy as a sharp sports bettor is all these books set lines independently. So we literally have hundreds of data points of where the line should be set, right? You literally have hundreds of data points as a sharp bettor of where the line should be set. We have Pinnacle, one of the sharpest sports books out there. They're pricing the Capitals at plus 121. They're giving you the Islanders at minus 137. So you can look at more and more data. So according to Pinnacle, one of the sharpest bookmakers in the world, the fair price for the Capitals would be plus 127.75. We're getting plus 130 on Bovada. So we're getting higher odds or better odds than the Nuvei odds, right? It's like if you knew a stock, it's like if a stock were trading on the New York Stock Exchange at say $10 and you could buy it at a discount of $9. Well, the stock is trading at $10 on a very efficient market, the New York Stock Exchange, so buying that at $9 would be a steal deal. And that's kind of the same thing with positive EV betting. We're always getting value, a better price than the fair price with the VIG removed. So long story short, I'll include this sheet in the description and I'll actually put a screenshot of this right into this little Google sheet. But this will just show you, essentially, according to some sports books like DraftKings, who has this plus 120, minus 140, getting this plus 130 on Bovada looks pretty good, right? Whereas to Bet365 and WinBet, their market's plus 125, minus 145, same with Tipico. So the midpoint is closer to plus, 133. So in this case, Bovada doesn't seem that good at plus 130. There's not that much value. So no vig odds, removing the spread from a sportsbook's market, right? This is the only number I care about. I always want to be getting better odds, higher odds, a better price than the no vig odds. That is the core of sharp sports betting. Literally the core of sharp sports betting. If you're always getting better odds than the no vig odds, you're going to make a lot of money. So let me know any questions. I included my email in the description on YouTube. Let's make some money.